So we want to be looking at a scenario where civilization starts over. We are on episode 53, I think. Been a lot of episodes, hard to remember every single one, but I'm pretty sure we are on 53. Let me know if I am wrong. In the last episode, it was pretty boring, and I'm very sorry for that. But I have updated some of the numbers. In the last episode, I updated the best navies in the world. And while offline, not recording, I did update the population numbers. So the biggest population body in the world is the Indian Federation, kind of like real life. Number 2 is actually the Russian Empire. Number 3 is Taiwan. 4 is China. 5 goes over to the Persian Union. 6, Korea. 7 is the Cypriot Empire. 8 is California. 9 is the fascist African country. And 10 is the Scandinavian Union. In this episode, expect a pretty big war to break out, and that's actually what we're going to be looking into right now. So the Russian Empire, the greatest country on Earth. What a beautiful place to live. Why wouldn't you want to be the strongest country in the world? Emperor Neulipen wants to expand this empire even more, so they start an invasion. I don't know what is happening with the border, but they go ahead and start an invasion into this purple country right here. And, this is going very good for the Russian country, although these guys are a lot stronger than the Russians thought. So they are going to hold a pretty good defensive line pretty far into this country, so it gets about to here before the defensive stuff starts kicking up. Don't forget, Neulipen is the greatest military general in the world, so although the offensives have slowed down, he is still going to make a spearhead going up, and this is crushing towards the purple team's, economy mainly. It's crushing towards them. But they are able to pick themselves back up and pull off a little offensive back into these areas. Just a little bit, though. And, you'd be pretty mistaken if you thought Neulipen wouldn't try and go after another country. As the strongest country in this Central Asian area, being this green one, is actually also going to face invasion from the Russian Empire. The Russians want to expand their borders inside of Asia way more, and they're doing it very good as they capture the whole border of this green country. This green country was not expecting an invasion of the Russians. Even worse, when the blue team also starts an invasion. The blue team is a fascist nation, and we will be looking more at the religion part in this episode, because I realized I wasn't really talking about it as much as I should be, so we will be talking more about that in this episode. And I also want to talk to you about something while this war is going on. So, would you guys want longer Wixo episodes? Because I would love to make longer ones. I just don't know if I want to make mine 20 minutes, which I am 100% down to do, which I already kind of am doing. I'm just slowly. I was always trying to keep mine less than 16 minutes, but recently I have kind of been going over that. And, if you guys want me to go to 20 minutes or even longer, I would be happy to do so. It'd give me more time to explain stuff better. So let me know in the comments which one would you guys rather have. The the green team is also going to start an invasion of this purple team right here, getting pretty far. Well, not pretty far. These guys are pretty dang strong for their region. I mean, this is like Kazakhstan, so I don't know if Kazakhstan's strong in real life. I don't think they are. But after a couple weeks, we see the front lines looking like this. But then in comes the, third party. The Scandinavian Union begins, I need to make the color lighter, but now you know. The Scandinavian Union begins their invasion of the Russian Empire, and they stated before they want full control over the Baltic Sea, and these guys are making great move in kind of these snowier regions up over here, where Russia was not keeping their military, and, this is going to show to be a big flaw in their system, because, the Scandinavians get all the way to Estonia and capture all of the Baltic Sea very quickly, and now their goal is to just hold on to these front lines throughout this war. And, but I need to say something now. The Russians are a part of the Checkmark Alliance, but I need to say something about the Checkmark Alliance. These guys, it's not really a NATO, it's more of a, we'll support you in a war if someone invades you first, but we don't have to go and help you. So, Israel and the Persian Union are 100% supporting the Russian Empire, but they are not sending troops because they don't really care. After getting all this, since the Scandinavians aren't seeing much pushback, they're going to expand their front lines a little bit, only just because they want to get more land out of the peace treaty. And, well, if you get more land inside of a war, you will get more land in a peace treaty. It is also at this time where we see the green team start a pushback against the blue team, and this is where we see the Cross Alliance join in on this war, because the Cross Alliance is a kind of NATO, and because, well, blue team troops got killed in a offensive by the green team. Now, Korea, Yemen, and, well, just to name a few, the fascist Africans and Adaria are all sending troops to the blue team. Once these troops get here, a massive offensive is going into the green team, and it gets very far up this kind of border between the purple team and the green team. These guys get very far. They can't get close to the capital city, though, so they're going to go and try and go around it and meet up with the Russians, although they don't like the Russians. The green team is going to push back against the Russians just a little bit, but it's enough to make it count. The purple team is not having that luck, though. Although the Scandinavians are invading into core Russian territory, the Russians kind of made that area purposely into a kind of puppety state. So if they do lose it, it's not going to be as big of a deal as like the actual Russian area. Estonia and Finland aren't their biggest worries. A massive encirclement is made right here, and it captures a lot of this Kazakhstan's troops. Another one is made, capturing a bunch more troops. And, well, with the Russians and the green team pretty much moving up these areas faster than ever, it's pretty much over for Kazakhstan. And the bad thing is, the Russians and the green team aren't really letting Kazakhstan surrender. Well, the green team is going to get a little bit more land out of this war, just like this, and then they're going to leave. But the Russians continue their spearhead up to the capital, making another encirclement of just a few more troops before the capital is taken of Kazakhstan. They take control of the government, and, well, they force Kazakhstan to surrender over to the Russians, and one front line has just ended. With this, there is a new front line that the Russians have against the green team, and they're going to use it to their advantage, invading into the green team lightning speed, kind of like Blitzkrieg. This is kind of like Napoleon plus Hitler, I guess. Which, I guess, I don't know if I'm even allowed to say that. Mittler. Both the green team and Kazakhstan is not doing good in this war so far. As well, the capital is almost taken by blue team forces. But then the Russians kind of go in and start eating the rest of this. And, well, the blue team is kind of mad about that. The Russians look at the Scandinavian Union like, bro, really? Poland kind of wants to, like, bite back, but they know they'll get crushed in a war if they do. So, the Checkmark Alliance just kind of asks Russia to surrender. Even though the Russians don't have to, they are going to, because all of their troops are pretty much over in the Siberian region because they have plans. So, although they don't want to, they are going to surrender, I guess, or just white peace, but the Scandinavians will get land. They will, I guess, surrender over to the Scandinavians. The Scandinavians finally unite their dream. What the? And, well, these guys surround the whole Baltic Sea, getting pretty much a lot of the lands that they invaded into. Russia is very mad about this because they just got those lands in World War III, but now they have to relinquish them. The Scandinavians now surround the whole Baltic Sea, and, well, that is that. Now let's look at the peace treaty between the Russians, the blue team, and the green team. There aren't provinces in this area yet, but the green team is going to get all of these lands, while the rest is going to go over to the Russians. That does mean the Russians will get the rest. The Russians, being the Russians, are actually going to kind of force their way around inside of this peace treaty. They get all these provinces, while the blue team gets all of this. So you have the border looking something like this. The blue team is kind of mad that they didn't get as much land as they invaded into. But they can't do anything about it because the strongest country in the world is on your border. And, well, can't really do anything about it. If you thought Neulipan was done, you're wrong, because we see, well, Neulipan invade into some of these small little states down over here, and it's sad. The Russians pretty much obliterate these areas, and although they have different religions, this whole religious movement is starting to die down just a little bit, but it's still very big as we see the Russians annex all of these lands. Doing the same thing with this yellow one right here. And finally, they take this purple thing right here as well as heading into this blue one, taking over all of that. The Russian Empire has expanded greatly, but they are going to stop. And, well, now we need to look at more people joining in on the Communist Alliance only. A big thing has just happened for the Communist Alliance, as we see China joins in on the Communist Alliance, and they are now a communist country in the world. We also see the Babylons join in on the communism, and finally, this purple team right here. So, I would definitely say the Triangle Alliance is the strongest alliance in the world at this point, probably. We also see something bad happen for the Russian alliance, as we see Utah is going to go ahead and leave the checkmark alliance. Why does Utah do this? Well, Utah has just formed the United North America Alliance, or, let me think of it, or for short, UNA. This is an economic-military alliance meant to one day kind of maybe unite all of North America. But they first got to get some members, and, well, Texas is going to go ahead and join in on their Mormon brothers. We also see California join in on this. They're not really in on the union part, so that probably won't happen. But they do want to be in an alliance that will kind of be close together and be a power. And finally, Iowa joins in. And yes, this is Iowa. You guys are trying to tell me this is Missouri. I know my states. Come on. This is Iowa. What are you guys talking about? But these guys, they want to expand and kind of unite North America, even though that probably won't happen. This is shown very quickly as we see the Texan invasion of this pink Mexican country. And the very next day, these guys are out of the Square Alliance. The blue team has just kicked them out. Russian troops that are also armed with Utah, California, and Michigan troops all pour across into Mexico, eastern Mexico, and, this is not going good for the Mexicans. This army is very strong. It's kind of like the United States, but it's definitely not as close. The United States, that's what we're going to call this alliance, the United States of America. So the United States of America Alliance is going to start pushing down, totally original name. They're going to start pushing down and get very close to Mexico City, which I'm going to call Mexico City. Then we see rebels over here in the southern part break away and form their own country. And then we see a 10th party, I don't know. We see the terrorist organization make a landing inside of Mexico and start going around this border, and this is not good for really all of North America. No one really likes the Floridas. This leads to a quick capture of the capital by the Texans, and they get pretty much all of this land, with the terrorist group getting the rest. Here's what the peace treaty looks like, with the terrorist group getting 2 little exclaves inside of this Mexican area. They granted the capital over to this red team, which now kind of looks like it's eating like a cookie, or like eating the terrorist organization. And Texas now has more of this Texan area down in Mexico. But if you thought that was it for the Americas, no, because South America is finally going to be doing something. In Wixo, no one really knows what to do with South America, if you cannot tell. What we see happening is the Peruvian Union. All of these guys are going to unite economically, and, this is mainly going to help the economy of all these countries. Help the economy of these countries. This needed to happen because, especially the one that was over here that was landlocked was almost going to fall apart. And, it's nice that these guys are uniting. The Dutch team is also making a move, snatching over these city-states. Just city-states. All of these guys, and this is going to start raising tensions inside of this area, because what is the Dutch team doing? You're not supposed to be going back after this land, so why are you doing it? Well, it turns out it's yet again normal for this time. But these religions that the brown team has recently annexed are all kind of gone now. These guys are, they're not fascist, but they kind of are at the same time. Iberia is going to be doing something, and if you saw my most recent video, you saw them invade into Spain. That was a teaser because we see the capital of the Magenta country being captured for probably the billionth time in this series yet again. But trouble has just happened as Iberia has just invaded a communist country. The Triangle Magenta team was a communist nation, And, well, this came out of nowhere. But in the next episode, we have the start of the fascism versus communism, or the fascists versus the communists. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.